So, good morning, everyone. I hope you sleep well. Um, so today is we see yet another aspect of the vegan lifestyle, which is the ocean. It's an extremely important aspect of the vegan lifestyle as well. Like why should we care about the ocean? And in the sense of what we do to it, like fishing. And fishing has become so commonplace that is quite scary. We have this idea, maybe this notion that for example, when we go fishing, when we hear about fishing, we see so many fishing like in movies, and it's depicted as something very calm and peaceful, and something even positive, just to relax. And it's like complete disconnect from reality. Like the ocean has become a refrigerator, basically. We use it. We think that this is just a place where we have our food, and we can take our food whenever we want and just eat it without any harm. But oceans, creatures or animals or people, they are not different really than us. Maybe the only difference is that we don't understand their language, but that doesn't mean that they are void of feelings. They do not feel pain. They do not want to raise a family, have a family, and and everything like us. They enjoy themselves. They have games and everything. So when we go fishing, for example, just one fish. I mean, when we put a hook into their mouth, that is unbelievable pain for them. There's nothing romantic or calm or peaceful about it. It's terrible. It's like torturing an innocent being. For what? And that's just one fish at a time. But this one fish is very important. It's like every being is important. Every being who feels pain is unnecessarily for our so-called enjoyment. This is I don't know how to qualify it. It's terrible. So we should be really avoiding harming any living beings, and the oceans are no exception. And this presentation is about that, about oceans life, oceans animals, ocean people. We can call them oceans people. No need to call them oceans animals, because we are also an animal and we are people. So why shouldn't they? But yeah, so the ocean. I mean, the compassion doesn't stop at the shoreline. So it's not only land animals that should have compassion, or the air animals, but oceans animals, people should also be have compassion. Not only that, but it's extremely important for our survival. because of phytoplankton, which creates oxygen, and the phytoplankton also come from oceans, beautiful creatures, and also the coral reefs, which absorb, all the bacteria. So, I don't know exactly how it works, but like the CO2, it's like a very good big sink of CO2 sink, the ocean, and with all the, I think, phytoplanktons also. And similarly to the forests, they are the lungs of the planet, and not many people are aware of that. So when we completely destroy the ocean, we are destroying ourselves in the process. And it's not necessary. Fish is not like a mandatory food for us. We are not meant to eat like oceans creatures. Just not meant to, and we can replace them very easily. Otherwise, in all kind of different ways, like algae um, that contains all the omega-3, for example. Like so, no need to go to the fish to get what they themselves are eating. We can eat directly what they are eating. And yeah, so let's start. So fishing is, as said, always violence. There's no non-violent way to catch a sea animal, and the scale of the oppression doesn't change the fundamental reality that it is just cruel, very cruel to do that. It's we are like taking beautiful beings out of the home and to end their life against their will for our so-called quotation mark enjoyment. Doesn't matter if it's small-scale fishing, industrial fishing, or recreational, so-called recreational fishing. How can it be recreational? It's, how how yeah, how did we ever get there? And be so ubiquitous, so spread, and without thinking. And maybe that's the issue. Most people don't think about it and do not realize it. So I hope that this presentation will shed some light on it and maybe makes us think more. And a lot of it is just, being aware of it. And so that is the idea of this presentation. So recreational fishing is like when we go out, take out our rod and try to catch a fish. I mean, for what purpose? How can it be relaxing? The only idea of relaxing is because it's in nature. But that so if you're in nature, why do we destroy it? And it's not necessary. It's really not necessary. This is just for enjoyment, for leisure. So how can we cause pain and terror just for our pleasure? And then there's small-scale fishing, still injures quite a lot of individual animals who feel pain and fear. And also, it's not really necessary in most places on Earth. In most places on Earth, one can eat plant-based quite easily. But one is just very used to it. It becomes like something that one does maybe for many generations, and one doesn't really think about what one does exactly. And it's done out of habit, and again, it's not necessary in most places on Earth. And then there's the industrial fishing. That is where it's massive operation that harms, millions, trillions of animals at once. I think I don't remember the statistics, but I believe there were trillions of ocean animals or people killed every year. Trillions. There are billions of land animals. I don't remember how many. Again, maybe it depends how you define it. Maybe 50, 60 billion, which is abysmal, incredible. But it's trillions for oceans creatures. Why? Because it becomes such an incredible. I mean, the way they do it is just they put like nets on the bottom of the sea, and then they catch basically everything that comes in the way, and these nets can go kilometers wide, and that is very very bad. It not only destroys catches the fish and kills them, but also all the other so-called byproducts, what they call, that they are not do not wish to catch, but they catch because everything is in there, like dolphins, turtles, whales, and also destroying the coral reef, which is very important for the ocean's welfare, and then not only that, but also when the so-called fishing ends, many of those nets stay there and is not taken away. So those nets, they still kill many beings even after the fisher persons come and capture them. So it's a disaster, honestly. So yes, the ocean is being empty of life, and I really dislike very much the word overfishing. It makes it as for fishing a little bit is okay, but fishing too much is too much. No, we should just not fish at all. That is the ideal way of being, and there's absolutely no reason to fish. So our complete oceans creatures biodiversity is being completely destroyed and complete collapse. Many oceans species are on the brink of extinction or already extinct, and still the operations continue. We still go after fish. We still believe that fish is still food. So we are emptying the oceans with no consequence of what we are doing. It's like we are blind to reality again. We are sleeping. We are in a dream, but it's very much reality. And the reality, if we don't stop, if the oceans die, then we die. So I don't know how many years the ocean can still survive. Probably not that many. So we must do something right now. Ideally, just stop consuming fish or any other land creatures. Not only fish, but some even eat whales or sharks, or and some even just kill innocent, I think, dolphins and other animals just for maybe traditions. I'm really not know what to say more. It's quite sad. Um, yeah, it's like a killing on a planetary scale, and we are absolutely okay with it. And then we have, as we talked about the so-called bycatch. So those are accidental killing, but they still count. It doesn't matter accidental or not. They are killed or injured, terribly injured, because maybe they are the fisher persons. They let them go, but they've been hurt. They've been out of the water. Many have broken fins or any other injury. So so accidental or not, it is killing, and it is quite a gigantic amount of those, because as said, they are the fishermen, fisherwomen. They just capture all the creatures that are on the bottom of the sea for kilometers wide, and then they catch everything. So also dolphins, whales, sharks, sea turtles, seabirds. Yeah, it's not necessary. So that's the main idea. And those are also the ghost nets. So those are the abandoned nets in the sea, and it causes a lot of issues. So many animals are trapped in them. So animals suffers and die. And then even those that eat those dead animals, they also get themselves trapped in those nets, and then it's like an endless cycle. And we created those, so and yeah, and it's probably easier to let the nets down than to maybe than to take them out. But I suppose it's inevitable in the entire system that those nets exist. And it's the old system that is corrupted and should be changed drastically. Instead of fishing, why not have um, like an environmental tours of the oceans? If the oceans was teeming with life, then we could just go and enjoy looking at them, seeing them, the beautiful fishes and whales and dolphins. Then it would be wonderful, like a co living together, co-living with the animal creature instead of eating them and hurting them. And that would be an ideal world, is where we really care about them, and then we can study them, we can look at them. It's like, there's like birds watching, where we watch beautiful birds from a distance, and we are really happy to see new ones. For example, in our garden here, we have many birds who come, and yeah, we enjoy looking at them, and we give them food every day. And sometimes there are like new birds coming, new species, and it's very exciting. And it's quite exciting to see. So similar for fish, we can actually go and look at them, see them, see how beautiful they are, like learn how they live in communities like us, and that they are beautiful, living, breathing creatures with sentiments. Doesn't matter if they are big fish or small fishes. And I think the bigger one, like dolphins, whales, they are extremely smart, possibly even smarter than humans. The only thing is that we cannot communicate with them because we don't know their language. Fishes also have their languages. Every creature has their language that we do not understand. But the fact that we don't understand doesn't give us the right to do whatever we want to them. And fish is often the creature that receives like the less amount of love or attention for some reasons. Like there are many documentaries about the abuse of especially land animals, but the oceans, there are, I think, quite fewer. So this is one of the video that I would propose and recommend to watch today. It's called Seaspiracy. It can be seen on Netflix. It's a good documentary that discusses all these aspects. And yeah, it can open our eyes to what happens beneath the surface of the oceans, and be part of the solution instead of the problem. So the solution is just to stop consuming animals, to stop seeing them as products, to start seeing them as someone, not something. Similar to animals. The animals, we also look at them like something and not someone. But same thing for oceans creatures. Let's extend our consciousness, our compassion, our kindness to all beings, including the oceans. So now there's those idea of fish farming. As for we can farm fish, or we believe that's maybe more ecological, but it is also a disaster from so many reasons. It doesn't solve the ethical problem. We just move it to from the open oceans to a more closed part. And yeah, so many issues with that. So there's the extreme confinement. Animals are very much together, and so diseases spread very, very easily. Many of them are completely diseased. So we give them a lot of antibiotics, but that doesn't really resolve much. And so there's a lot of pollution around those kind of farms. And also the fishes like waste also pollutes all the marine ecosystem around. And yeah, and fishes farms actually are fed fish themselves. So we still empty the oceans to support those operations. So there's nothing positive about it, nothing better than anything else. We should not believe that fish farming is better. But yeah, it's quite sad what we do. But again, so easy to be part of the solution rather than the problem. Just stop consuming fish. So easy. Like a 10 seconds decision. And we are no longer part of the problem. And another issue is the dead zones where life cannot survive. So dead zones are zones of extreme pollution. There's no more oxygen, so no more life, because life requires oxygen. And then yeah, animals, they just suffocate or flee those places, and then they are, as they say, it's dead zones. So nothing can live there. And yeah, if we don't stop, the entire oceans will become one big dead zone. So we need to start now. We should not stop any We do not. We should not think, "I will do it tomorrow." No, let's do it today. Let's stop procrastinating what is important. Some things it's okay to procrastinate. Something shouldn't. Like this is one of the things that we really shouldn't, because our life depends on it. Our entire planet depends on it. So, and we cannot procrastinate on something that is about kindness and compassion, and just pure logic. Yeah, the fish feel pain, so it's like yeah, if they we may think, oh, if they feel pain, then okay, I shouldn't eat. If they don't feel pain, I should not eat. But yeah, of course they feel pain. But yeah, compassion doesn't need the absolute proof. I mean, it's scientific research supports that fish do, of course, feel pain. They have a nervous system. They have kind of like a back, like yeah, an entire system of course they will avoid pain, and they will go where there is less pain, or more like pleasure, and more joy and happiness. If there's a place where they feel pain, they will get out of it as soon as possible. Um, yeah, so mm, um, even if we believe maybe fish do not feel pain, I mean, we do not know. So we are not, maybe if we could be a fish, we would understand. But we cannot just transform ourselves into fish. So yeah, so we should believe that fish do feel pain, and there is a real possibility that they do suffer enormously. And in that case, what we do to them is very violent and very negative. Same with animals, land people. Same thing. We believing that they do not feel pain doesn't make any sense, of course. Um, I mean, we do land animals. They cry. And everything. They love their childrens very much. They want to protect them as much as possible. And yeah, and when people want to kill them, then they want try to escape, but they cannot, unfortunately, and they don't have any means of protecting themselves. They cannot create weapons, like defense weapons or anything. They're just innocent beings, very very innocent, like childrens. They are like small childrens that we should protect with all our might. And same for oceans, people, oceans animals. We should protect them as well. We should be the protector of the oceans, not its destroyers. Yeah, so that is the basic idea of veganism. Just leave the sea alone. I mean, at least leave the sea alone from the sense of killing what is in the ocean, but it's not exactly that. I mean, leave the sea alone from a food perspective, but protect it from a ethical perspective. So make like if one is in like in law, maybe make law that fishing would not be allowed anymore. Maybe leisure fishing at least would not be allowed. So-called leisure, recreational fishing would not be allowed. like maybe minimize as much as possible fishing. And yeah, some go on the oceans themselves to protect them, like the Sea Shepherd organization, which is an amazing organization that protects the animals. My company supports Sea Shepherd, and I'm very proud of them for that. And it's an amazing organization that walk the talk. So their boats are, for example, strictly vegans, which is amazing. Not all environmental organizations do that. And I remember reading somewhere where the Sea Shepherd crew was invited by another environmental like organization on their boats, and they were shocked to see that they receive like animal products as food, which doesn't make any sense. So really, Sea Shepherd is one of the best, because they walk the talk again. They do what they preach. They protect the oceans, and they themselves do not cause any harm to the ocean by exploiting it. And yeah, I challenge any other environmental organization to do what they do, and to be what they are, and to follow their example. Because if an environmental organization is still harming animals, oceans, they still eat fish or land animals or anything, then that is a completely wrong. It's kind of an hypocrisy. I'm sorry. It's like trying to protect someone, but at the same time hurting them. It doesn't make any sense. All environmental organizations, in my humble opinion, must be follow the vegan lifestyle. But yeah, that's unfortunately not the case, and except for Sea Shepherd. I'm quite sure there may be others that would be wonderful, but I know only one. Possibly the other ones will come and will follow soon, I hope. Yeah, that's possible. That would be wonderful. Yeah, so if we are vegans, there is no hooks. We are not dealing with hooks. There are no nets, no farms, no exceptions. So compassion doesn't know any exception, no special cases. I mean, okay, if some places there's absolutely no nature, I mean, no natural food, like no trees, no nothing, then living, and there's absolutely no other way than to catch so-called fish. Okay, that may be an exception. It's extremely rare. It's really in places, especially nowadays. I mean, we can get food from mostly any place, from the supermarket. I mean, especially if we live next to trees and nature, then it's quite easy to get fruits and vegetables. But possibly in places like I don't know where, Antarctica, where it may be very hard if people live there, and then yeah, okay. But the most important thing is, what about us? First, this is just such a small percentage, but for the vast majority of us, we are not in that situation, and we don't need to do that to survive. And we should not say, oh, but those people, they do that and they have no choice. Okay, but what about us? We should not think them, but us. What can we do? And that's really the most important thing. What can we do to help protect the animals, the oceans, and this beautiful planet of ours? Because we want this planet to thrive for all of us, for our children's, for ourselves, for future generations. We don't want fish to be like in a museum in the future, and then to say, oh yeah, those creatures, they existed a long, long time ago, but we destroyed them, and no, we still want to have a beautiful planet to live on, and just to leave the sea animals in peace. That's all we really want. So yeah, so eating with the ocean, not against it. We can get everything that we need from plant-based food, from oceans, like algae, like nori, things like that, and a lot of plant-based alternatives to that taste like fish, but that are not fish. So I remember one day I ate something and that really tasted like fish. I mean, it was a vegan in a vegan organization, I mean, vegetarian at the time. But it was, and then somebody like joked with me and said, "Oh, this is fish." I was quite shocked, but then he immediately said, "No, no, don't worry. This is okay. It's not real fish." So yes, so it really tastes like fish. It has the same texture as fish, and that's why if we really love those kind of foods, we can replace them with the plant-based alternatives. It's very easy to do, and it avoids all the issues with what we do to the oceans. So this is part of the solution and not the problem. So the choice is ours, unfortunately. I would say that the choice should not be ours, because compassion, kindness should not be a choice. But in this world, currently at least, it is a choice. One could say it's like a slavery in the past. Slavery was a choice for the rich or not so rich. But so the poor didn't have any choice but to become slaves. But this fortunately changed with time, with policies and with laws that abolished slavery. I think it's almost non-existent in this world. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe there are still some places, but it is mostly non-existent. And yeah, so maybe we can do the same with eating fish. In my opinion, that's also not an option, because slavery also is not an option. That's not it's not ethical. It's not logical. It's it's abusive of beings. Same thing with the oceans. In my opinion, we should not have had any option. Or eating land animals, same thing. What we do to them, that's for me. That's also should not have been an option. Should not be like my choice. Often one can hear it is my choice if one eats animals or any animals, be it sea animals, sea people, or animal people, or land animal people, or like the sky people. Some people say it is my choice. Don't come between me and my choice. But no, that's a very wrong way of seeing that thing. Some things are not choices. When when we hurt beings, it cannot be a choice. That's not a choice. That is like against going against beings' wishes, against them wanting to live or to be happy and joyful. We take away the choice when we put animal in cages. That's not their choice, of course. That is our own selfish, egoistic point of view. That we do that only for our pleasure, for our taste pleasure mostly. We don't really think about nutrition most of the time. Most people, when they eat, when we eat, we don't think about, oh, this is very nutritious, then I eat it. Some do. But it's just for main needs for taste, for like salt, oil, and sugar, and umami. Um, and this we can very easily get from plant-based food, which is the most compassionate way of eating. No need to hurt any being for our own pleasure. And yes, so that's the presentation for today. So yeah, I hope you got something out of it. I repeated myself quite a couple of times. Sometimes it's good to repeat oneself. So if we are not yet if we have not yet stopped eating the oceans, people, maybe at least reflect upon that, meditate on that, self-dialogue on that, contemplate on that. Think, is it really necessary? Do we really need to do that? Can we get by without it? Just a couple of small changes, but with very big impact. So yeah, let's try to do the right thing. All of us together, we are all compassionate people in our hearts, but sometimes we need some reminders of some things which we are doing automatically, but we are not really aware of what we are doing. So need someone, something, some presentation to really wake us up. And I hope this presentation maybe help in that sense, just to consider at least. And yeah, if one doesn't want to stop immediately, then at least minimize it as much as possible. Maybe half, 70%, 90% stop. If one ate fish products every day, then maybe once a week, and then maybe once a month, then maybe once a year, maybe never. And yeah, and just try to find like alternatives, like plant-based alternatives, vegan alternatives. It's very easy nowadays in all the supermarkets. There are so many products, and one can also make them themselves at home. So many recipes on the internet that one can find. Nowadays, there's, one could say, no excuse anymore. In the past, maybe one could give many excuses, but nowadays, no excuses anymore. One should just do it. And yes, so I said there is a documentary that I would encourage people to see, Seaspiracy. And yeah, there are other documentaries also very good about it that I will discuss, that I will recommend in later presentations. So okay, let's move now to our daily practice. So, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. So we will start the session, like the meditation session. But it's like when we say meditation session, it's not only meditation. There is also the part before it that precedes it, and that is also quite important. It's more like a practice, a spiritual practice that one does, and that is like divided in different sections. One can go directly to meditation, of course, but it's a good idea to do all the practices before, so that the practice is more fruitful. Yeah. So also the challenge for today, I put a challenge every day on the notes of the life. So the challenge for the day is a bit special. In the past, the previous ones, it's more like mindfulness of eating, mindfulness of being, mindfulness of great gratitude. But this time, I gave this challenge. A very fun thing is to juggle. No, juggling, like juggling balls, is a very good concentration practice. It's really good. It's because when we juggle, we need to be very concentrated at the when we do that, and it takes a lot of practice. It's a lot of fun. It's related like to mindfulness. It expands our brain, maybe not surprisingly. But I think there's scientific research about it, that it increases the gray and white matters. So white matters, I believe, is what connects the cells in our brain, and gray is more like the functional units, the one that actually do the calculations. So yeah, so it increases those in the brain when we do juggling, when we learn juggling. Doesn't matter what age, we can start at any age. I started not that long ago, honestly, and I just fell in love with it because it's a lot of fun, and it's very rewarding, like hobby. And not only that, it's very good for the brain, as said, and it's in the sense of neuroplasticity, that the brain can be is very malleable, much more than we thought in the past. So this brain of ours can evolve even when in any age, no matter what age, when we are young or when we are old. And if we practice new stuff, then it increases our cognitive abilities. And who doesn't want that? It's good. And yeah, I would encourage everyone everyone who has children to let them learn this art, because when we learn something when we are young, then we learn much faster and much better. We can learn at any age, but when we are young, it's even better. Like all the pianists, when they start very young, then they become really good pianists. We can become a good pianist even learning afterwards, but it is a bit harder. Not only because maybe our brain is kind of set, not set, but so it's still plastic, not neuroplastic, but more we have a lot of responsibilities when we grow up, and then when we are young, we have less responsibilities, then we have more time to practice whatever we want to practice. And juggling is amazing hobby for many reasons. First, again, it's a lot of fun. We can learn like so many patterns, different patterns, not only the usual ones. Usual one, the first one that we study is usually the cascade, but it's also something that we can do individually. It's not competitive like other practices or sports. So there's no, I mean, there are competitions, but it's more about like an art. One, it's not one against the other. It's not like sports where you have to win the ball. Like in ping pong, you have to play in a way that the opponent cannot respond. Something like that. It's not like one against one. It's more once against oneself, basically. It's a challenge against oneself, which is wonderful. Sometimes a competition can be problematic. Like if we are very can become like sad if we lose or anything. But here, no, it's just we try it with ourselves. So it's very can be frustrating, but it's a frustration against ourselves, and then we learn, and then finally we learn, and then it's a lot of fun. Then we can also do it with others. Um, like they are juggling with partners, so you can throw the balls or the clubs to one another, and there are many clubs of that. Um, yeah, so that is the challenge of today. If you dare. So okay, so let's actually do the practice. So we will start as always with prayer. So let's do that. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will show gratitude for my many blessings. And just for today, I will be kind to all living beings. May today be a joyful, peaceful, blissful, and magical day. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy and free. And may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, to all humans, to all animals, land, sea, and ocean, and sky, and finally to peace to ourselves, to our own being, to our own mind. Om. So this is my morning prayer that I do. Feel free to use it or adapt it as you feel best. I think it's a nice combination of different things, that affirmations plus like a prayer to the word. So Loka Samasta Sukhna Bhavantu is one of the most maybe important mantra in yoga. And yeah, because it's extending compassion to all living beings, and that is the basis of spirituality. There can be no spirituality without virtues. It's just not possible. And we should be very strong with our willpower in that sense, to really focus on those virtues, and following the vegan lifestyle is one of the maybe easiest, maybe best way to actually do that, because the vegan lifestyle is inclusive of all beings, not only all the so-called animals people, but also the humans people and the animals humans people. So yeah, vegan lifestyle is like kind of a philosophy of compassion and kindness, universal compassion. There is no, there's nothing better I have found in all my life than the vegan um, way of being. Um, and yes, we've forgotten that aspect of ourselves also, and we can reclaim it again. So many people go vegan at any age. One like it's like a spark of like a light bulb above the head. Like, oh yeah, something is makes sense. So that's why we are vegans, to become, in a way, to become compassion itself, to become an embodiment of the virtue of compassion without wanting to sound arrogant. But yeah, to become kindness itself, to become compassion itself, to become that virtues, those virtues that we all wish to have more, and this world really needs it right now, maybe more than ever, because it's kind of, we are in kind of a crisis period in this world, because we have so much technology, which at the same time is extremely helpful. Some are giving those video. I mean, it would not be possible without this technology. But this technology also create issues of the opposite type. Like there can be promotion of negative things, and then yeah, it's like a technology that causes suffering. Like for example, all the oceans depletion comes from technology. So it's a, as they say, it's a double-edged sword. That we can use technology for good, or we can use it for evil, for not good. So it's our choice. So hopefully with technology nowadays, because of YouTube and all those, more people are aware of this. So it's easier to waken people up than in the past, where one had to go from an in foot at foot to give lectures a bit everywhere in the world. I think Guru Nanak, several hundreds of centuries ago, he went by foot a bit everywhere in his time, and it took him a very, very many years, I believe, in order to spread his message of peace. But yeah, nowadays we can do it very easily from the comfort of our home, and it's yeah, that's a good thing. But again, as I said, it's a double-edged sword. So we need to really move fast towards compassion and kindness everywhere, to help this world thrive and become a beautiful, stay a beautiful place. One of the most amazing planet there is. So yes, so just a side note. So let's move to the second part, which is gratitude now. So gratitude is the practice of being grateful. So gratefulness is the mother of all virtues. Through gratefulness, the other virtues blossom. If one is very grateful, then the other qualities will kind of automatically be come to us. So it's a very good virtue to practice every single day, especially in the morning. I would recommend everyone to do gratefulness session every single day without exception. After waking up, maybe after the prayer, then do a gratefulness practice, which is just being grateful for anything that we have, for all our teachers, for all our family, our clothes, our food, the farmers who produce those foods, nature which gave us those foods, anything that we believe we should be grateful for. Well, our friends, colleagues, co-workers, yeah, so much to be grateful for, don't we? So let's do that for about 4 or 5 minutes. You can do it either like out loud or in your mind, as you feel best. So let's move now to next stage, which is just a very simple physical exercise, just to unblock our joints, to just warm us up a bit. So if you wish, you can do something more physical, like Surya Namaskar or anything that you wish. Or we can do just like a couple of minutes. Those who wish to follow, it's like a very easy exercises. So just first thing first is just Sufi rolls. That's very good to start with. Just like inhale coming forward and exhale coming back. The other way. Come back to center, then inhale and exhale. That's called the big bear in Qigong. Exhale. And come back. Then just inhale, exhale, turn to one side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, turn a bit more. Come back. Inhale. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, turn a bit more. And come back. Then one hand on the mat. Inhale. And exhale, turn to one side. To the other side. Come back to center. Then hands on the shoulders, and then just inhale up, exhale back. Then the other way. And come back to center. Just a little bit the hands, make some turns. In the direction. Same thing with the foot. Just extend them. And just they make some bones crack. And close. Now bring your legs like a bit in front, like this, and then just fall forward very, very slowly. And come back. You you can do anything that you think you need right now. Yeah, anything that you maybe are used to do in the morning, feel free to do it now. So this is the idea of this practice is just to do a little bit of physical exercise, just to unloosen the joints so that we can meditate better in an easier position. So we do that for just a couple of minutes. No need to do it for more, unless you really want a good workout. That's okay. When you sit like that on the floor, it's a good idea to put like a cushion on the side. Or something. I have something like this. So I put like a cushion so that my knee is resting on it. That way it is more comfortable. And yeah, because I have a little bit of like uncomfortable or pain in my left hip joint. So this is very helpful. Many people have used this idea. So yeah, so to meditate, it's not really important to be in a specific position, like in a lotus position. That's really not necessary. Probably most yogis don't do that. And there are some positions that may be a bit easier to meditate in, like a siddhasana. But just find. Sorry, I need to find a good place. I just need to find the posture that is most suited to you. Can be sukhasana, which is just usual sitting down, or putting one leg like in the middle, then the other one just next to it. That's called the Burmese posture. That's very comfortable. Or if you want, you can sit on a chair. So this is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's also the Japanese chairs that are very comfortable, where one actually sit in a very different way, like sit like on the heels, but a little bit more elevated. It's like the Zen meditation chairs. That is very very good. So yeah, just find a position that is most natural to you. That is the most important part of this point. So let's move to the next part, which is relaxation. So relaxation, we did until now the 31 points of relaxation, and we will still do it again. It's very important to really master these 41 points before going further. These 31 points, it's not just a relaxation, it's also a meditation in its own. It's a pranayama also. It's like a bit of everything. So we focus on specific points on the body, and we try to maintain our awareness mostly on those points as much as possible. So we try to not, that our thoughts do not wander as much as possible. Of course, that's not possible, but the idea is that when there are thoughts, then we return to our object of concentration, which in this case would be the points on the body, the specific ones. So we will do it twice. We will do it once together and once by yourselves. So just follow along and try to remember the points. It's not very hard, just that you need a little bit to remember how the sequence. Usually we start from like go to the right side, but you can also go from the left side and then the right side. It really doesn't matter. But the points themselves do matter, which points we do focus upon. So just find a comfortable position. back straight. You can also do it lying down if you wish, in Shavasana. And just relax your entire body. Your entire body is relaxed. And notice any joints, any muscle that is not relaxed, just relax it. Often it's the shoulders, the belly, the eyes, forehead, the face, the neck. Relax those completely. So bring your entire attention to the space between the eyebrows. Keep your attention there. Any thoughts that come, mindfully bring it back to that space. Now move your awareness to the pit of the throat, to the right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, tip of the right thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, pit of the throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, tip of the left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, pit of the throat, the center of the chest, the right chest, center of the chest, the left chest, and the center of the chest. And just relax. And now do the exact same sequence by yourself. So that is the 31 points of relaxation. It's also called Shav Yatra, which means the corpse journey. Very metaphoric. And yeah, to contrast it with Shavasana, which is that's the corpse posture. So one is the corpse posture, and the one is the corpse journey. And that is like that's the journey part of it. Yeah, maybe because usually in yoga sessions one ends with Shavasana, but possibly it could be beneficial to actually end with Shavyatra, which is a bit more, yeah, a bit more kind of active, but it's like a meditation concentration at the same time. So it's a good way to end a session. So okay, so now we did this. There are different types of relaxation, but for now we see just this one, the 31 points, because I really want to for us to master it before going further. It is important to master this before going further, so it's like kind of an entry point. But yeah, so it's a good idea to practice this like every day, and really to consider it as a meditation by itself. You can do it lying down, it's okay, as long as we don't fall asleep. Really concentrating on each of the points and trying to be as awake and aware as possible. Thoughts will come, and that is fine. Just we let them be, and we come back to our focus points. Yes, so now let's go to pranayama. So pranayama is like kind of the prana is the vital force or energy, and yama, I mean, it's like control of the energy. Of it's not necessarily control, but it's more working with the energy. It's a nicer way of seeing that. Like not trying to control anything, but working with that. Yeah, so let's do that. So, but before we start, maybe because we already had like an hour 30 of session, maybe let's take like 5 minutes break, and then we come back. Okay, so let's continue. So let's continue with the pranayama. So we're going to do several practices there. One is just it's very simple, just breathing in and out X seconds, breathing out X seconds. And one is breathing in X seconds and breathing out 2X seconds. So we will start with the first one. So just breathing in and out X seconds. And we are going to use 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out. This should be okay for most people. If it's too much, you can go back to 2 seconds in, 2 seconds out. But otherwise, stick with 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out. And some of the most important parts is that it should be diaphragmatic, so it should not be from the shoulders should be down, very relaxed, chest relaxed. Just let the belly expand very naturally. It should be silent, so without any sound, unless we have, of course, a blocked nose. But otherwise, as silent as possible. It should be trying to minimize the pauses between inhalation and exhalation and exhalation and inhalation. So it really should be very smooth. And trying to minimize the so-called jerks when we breathe in and out. So when we breathe in, we just breathe in one go. It's not like we breathe in, like breathe in, stop, in, stop, in, stop, and out, stop, out, stop, out, stop. It's really in, out, very naturally. And very smoothly. You may notice that when we have those jerks, it may be because thoughts came and we paid attention to them, and then it's like there was like a stop in the breathing, very very short stop, but a stop nevertheless. And the idea, what is the idea behind trying to do that? Is just to calm the mind. So the breath and the minds are intertwined; they're interlinked. When the breath is calm, the mind is calm. When the mind is calm, the breath is calm. So in a way, we try to calm the mind through the breath in that exercise as much as possible. So yeah, let's try to do that. So just breathe in 3 seconds, breathe out 3 seconds. Again, without pauses, without noise, without jerks, and for just a couple of minutes. So now we move to the second part, which is breathing in 2 seconds, breathing out 4 seconds. Same idea as before. So we always want to do the exhalation equal or longer than the inhalation. That's when the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in versus the sympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic is the one that is like be calm and relaxed, and the sympathetic is fight or flight. So we want really the parasympathetic nervous system to kick in rather than the stressful system. So let's do that for a couple of minutes. So breathe in 2 seconds, breathe out 4 seconds. So let's move now to the Nadi Shodhanam practice, which is the alternate nostril breathing, to calm again the mind, calm the breath, and to balance the right and the left, the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine in us, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. That's one of the concepts of that briefing. So to calm, to become more calm. There are also other aspects, but yeah, this is the idea to balance both. So how does it work? We will do like before, like the last rounds and the last days. We do one round together, and then you can do 3 rounds by yourself. So we're going to do a pattern of blocking the nostrils, like right or left. We're going to use the Vishnu Mudra, which is like the hands we bend the index and middle finger and use the thumb and ring finger to block right or left nostril. And there are like many types of Nadi Shodhanam. What we're going to do until now, we did just the first type. And then from the 11th sessions, we will start doing the second one. But for now, we will stick with the first one. So just what we're going to do, we're going to first exhale in one. So the pattern is, example, we start with the left. So exhale left, inhale right, exhale left, inhale right, exhale left, inhale right. And exhale right, inhale left, exhale right, inhale left, exhale right, inhale left. That is the sequence. We always start with the exhalation and we end with the inhalation. That's how we can remember it more easily. And then that's one round. And in the second round, we start with the other nostrils, and then we do the same thing. In the third round, we start again with the first nostril for the first time. So let's do it together. So just bring your hands, Vishnu Mudra, and then inhale, exhale. Inhale to start. Block right, exhale from left. Switch, inhale from right. Switch, exhale from left. Switch, inhale. Switch, exhale. Switch, inhale. Exhale from same. Switch, inhale. Switch, exhale. Switch, inhale. Switch, exhale. And switch, inhale. And relax. So that is one round. So now you do 3 rounds of those. So again, first round you start with one nostril and then do this. Then second round start with the other one, same thing. And third one starts with the first, like the first round. Again, it's like exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Let's do that. So 3 rounds and then we continue. Okay, so let's move now to the final pranayama exercise that we will do, which is called the Brahmari, making like the song of bees, like like closing the mouth and making the sound with our glottis, like so just inhale, then do the sound. This is very calming to the nervous system, so it's very relaxing. And let's do that for a couple of minutes. So each one, you can do it, on your own rhythm. Don't need to follow me. And relax. So this is a wonderful exercise, very simple one. You can do, we can do everywhere, anywhere. Of course, it would be a bit strange to do it on a bus, but maybe people think that we are singing or something. During some retreats, what we did is we each sang this, but in a different tone. And I couldn't do it because I always laughed like crazy when it happened. I don't know why. It made me laugh. Like when people do it in different tones, it sounds very very special. But yeah. So let's move now to the next part of the practice, which is self-dialogue. Self-dialogue is very important. It's when we talk with ourselves in a positive way. Usually we talk with ourselves in a negative way, but now we try it with a positive way, positive energy. Because our mind, so we are talking to basically our mind. We're our buddhi. Buddhi is our higher aspect of the mind. So when we talk to our mind, it's like talking with the higher self of the mind. And it is very important to make our mind our friend, not our enemy. So our mind can be either our best friend or our worst enemy. It's our own choice. Let's make our mind our friend. It's much better because our mind is basically the only so-called entity that lives with us always. The mind is the only permanent resident with us. So how about making our mind our best friend? This can make a big difference in how we feel, how we think. Just considering our mind as our best friend. Our mind is always willing to help us. But yes, it needs some direction because our willpower, our habits also directs our thoughts patterns. So having good habits is very important to our own well-being and to our mind and to the discussion with the mind. So for example, a good discussion to have with our mind is which habit we should leave and which habit we should start or maybe work with or work on. This is wonderful practice because we all have habits that we wish to develop, and our habits are extremely important. It is said that I heard it from a lovely lady called Lisa Raimondi. She has a channel called Fully Raw Food Romance. She's a vegan, raw food vegan, very healthy one also. She's doing it really very well. And what she said is we cannot change or determine our future, but we can change or determine our habits, and our habits can change or determine our future. I think that is a wonderful saying. I think many say something similar to that, of course. But yes, it is very powerful because when we focus on our habits, basically what determines our future, it's our habits. If we have bad habits, then it will our future will be would not be as good as if we had good habits. Let's say it that way. Like a very basic example is if we have the habits of smoking, then it determines also our future. So it can create a lot of issues. So if we stop smoking, if we change that habit, then our future will be changed automatically. So there are some habits that are very powerful to change. Like some habits can completely change our life. Just changing one thing can have tremendous effects on our future. So there are a few habits, a few things in this world that have tremendous effects. Something like smoking or stop smoking, for example, that is a tremendous effect. Or stopping alcohol, that for sure will have great effects. And maybe one of the biggest is going vegan. That is a gigantic effect, a positive one in our life. Not only our life, but also all those close to us and our family members and friends and co-workers who see how we behave and how we do things and why we do things. When we explain why we are vegans, that has very big influence, even if they don't say it. Yeah, like other habits is like sleeping well, sleeping for 7 to 9 hours in a very very disciplined way, like going to sleep like at 10 and then waking up at 5 maybe, or 6. And it's just having a very self-discipline, very good habits is extremely helpful. And self-dialogue helps with that. Why did I talk about this? Is because it comes back also to self-dialogue. Self-dialogue is when we can talk with ourselves and try to think, oh, this, maybe I should do, maybe I should stop, maybe I should improve on that, etc. So self-dialogue can be used for that, and that would be like self-counseling. Other way of self-talk is prayer. Prayer is a self-dialogue, which is very, very powerful. But the most powerful prayers are those that we ourselves make. So those prayers that make us weep, I mean, in a good sense, is the most effective and powerful. Like reading prayers is okay, it's good, but making ourselves up like every time is maybe even better. Nevertheless, some which are fixed, for example, I do the fixed one that I give in the beginning of each session, and that is for me is quite good. But of course, always praying, improvising is wonderful. And then there's gratitude, is also a self-dialogue, talking about ourselves that we did in the beginning. That's a wonderful dialogue. There's contemplation on higher truths, like who am I? That's one of the most, maybe the most important question that we can ask ourselves from a spiritual perspective. Who am I? It's there's a famous great master in India, Ramana Maharishi, and that was one of his main method is to ask who am I, because who am I is encompasses everything. Like who are we at the end? What are we? Are we this physical body, or is there something more to it? And who am I tries to answer that. It can be, I mean, it can be either intellectual, but we don't really want to go too much intellectual because we cannot really answer it intellectually. It's more about feelings and then spiritual experiences that we can have over time, like being in blissful states, samadhi, having visions that about what we are. And ultimately, what we are awareness. We are something that is eternal, that cannot die. The physical body is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful instrument, but it is an instrument. We should take care of it and very, very well, because it's an instrument with which we can work in this world, which we can help people, help ourselves, develop spiritually. We can also have fun. Fun is not against spirituality. On the contrary, the more spiritual the person is, the more fun he or she will have. So who am I is really central to try to understand. And being awareness, we are awareness, we are like divine beings. We are not in this world, we have a physical body, but we are not that body. It's very important to understand that. We are eternal, divine being, all of us. And when I say us, it's not only humans, all the animals as well, even trees. And this soul, so-called soul, I mean, the awareness can be seen as the soul. And this awareness is a wonderful, unimaginably powerful being, energy being, that is part of an ocean of beings. And this ocean of beings is what we call God, or the Lord, or the Beloved, the Supreme Being, which basically is ourselves. We are part of it. We are part of the Supreme Being. We are not separate from him or her. There's no, it doesn't have a gender. It's energy, very very powerful energy, and and how creation came about. I mean, maybe this is a bit off topic, but it is believed that I mean, the great creation energy, like maybe wish to be many. That's all. It wished to be many, and then everything came into being from that single creation energy. So maybe it felt alone, or it wanted some fun. It wanted to recognize itself, maybe to have some some fun with creation. So why do artists create? Because they enjoy this creation process, and maybe that's why we all the creation was created, just to be an expression of creative power, basically. And we are part of it, all of us, no exception, no exception. Which means that, well, that's one of the reasons why we shouldn't hurt any being, because when we hurt a being, basically we hurt ourselves. Every being is a mirror of our own self. It's a divine mirror. So hurting any being is should be avoided at all cost, which is why ahimsa is very important in many religions, like Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism, and others. Non-violence is supremely powerful. Yeah, we want to be kind to all, because basically everyone is ourself. Even the insects, even the animals, all the animals. When we help an animal in pain, we are helping ourselves, and we are basically helping that being ourselves through that being. We are a mirror. There was a beautiful story. I think that it's a Sufi story. Sufi is like the mystical part of Islam, and I don't really remember exactly, but it was the story of, I think it was Rabia, one of the saints, like a Sufi saints or Muslim saints, and she went on a pilgrimage to Muslims, they have to do a pilgrimage at least once a year to the holy city. And then during that voyage, she met a dog who was dying of thirst, and then she really cared for that dog, and for some time, and she stayed with him or her, and then she gave food and water until the dog was well. And then I think she couldn't go anymore to do the pilgrimage, and she was quite sad. But then she heard the divine voice of the Lord telling her that your pilgrimage is done, which is beautiful. And the meaning is quite clear: is that by helping that dog, basically she did her pilgrimage. She doesn't need to do anything else. Yeah, similarly, there are different stories like that. I have one on my channel about also something a bit similar, but it's a bit of a story about the merchant and the dog. You can watch it if you want. It's a lovely story. So let's go back to then self-dialogue. Then we can do contemplation on higher truth, like who am I? Then we can do also different dialogue of what do I want. So what do I really, really, really want in life? What is my kind of purpose in life? What was I born for? It's a wonderful question to ask and to reflect upon. We are all born with beautiful inspiration, aspirations, and that we can work on in this life. But sometimes we forget them. Life gets in the way, and we forget our aspirations. And it's good to reflect on that deeply, um, in a positive way, of course, always positive. So, like, what do I want? Many people start to help beings, create associations to help other humans or animals, which is absolutely amazing and wonderful. They are saints. Um, and yeah, and I mean, it can be something like more maybe becoming a champion in some sport. Maybe that can be an aspiration, or becoming an amazing artist, painter, or pianist or musician. Can be raising a wonderful family. Like so many like aspirations to in life, or to do wonderful at work, and to really be invested in work, to be kind to people. That's also like something that an aspiration. And some also have aspiration for um, spiritual practice, spiritual advancement. So in spirituality, there is a kind of like scientific so-called levels that one can go through, both in like mystical sense and more physical sense. Physical sense, I mean, like in the world, to be kind toward people, to help people, to help animals, all the animals, more than ever, the world needs it. That is advancement in spirituality. That's also where the vegan lifestyle shines. And one could say, in my own humble opinion, is that going vegan, especially ethical vegan, that means those who go for the ethical reasons for it, which if one goes for ethical reasons, one can never go back. That is, one is graduated from a certain class, let's say from secondary. Um, and then the rest, university, maybe it's more about the mystical aspect of spirituality. But yeah, so the vegan lifestyle is really super, super, super important for in the spiritual practice. It's all about virtues, developing virtues in ourselves. As I already said, I think in the past lecture, in Buddhism, for example, there are three main practices. One is sila. Sila is like virtues. Second is samadhi, which can be defined as meditation, tranquility, peace, mindfulness. And third one is prajna, which means wisdom. So it needs to work on all three of those, not just one. Meditation, no. Without virtues, doesn't work. Doesn't work very well. Or let's say it works for a little bit, but not not fully. And prajna is wisdom born out of both virtues and meditation, samadhi, plus listening to great sages, mystics of the past or present, reading scriptures, the Buddha's teachings, or Jesus Christ teachings, is helping to develop wisdom. The best wisdom is when we ourselves like meditate and then we reflect on things and then we try to see the reality with our own eyes. So yeah, that's why virtues is very important. Many people try to be virtuous, but one doesn't necessarily know how to. So it's very important to respect all beings, and that's why in many traditions, like vegetarianism is very strong. And yeah, many are lacto-vegetarians, so they do not eat meat, fish, or eggs, but they still consume dairy products. But this dairy product is very, very harming. I would say that lacto-vegetarians are like maybe 50% there, and the vegan lifestyle is maybe not all the way, but close. One can never be a perfect vegan. It's not possible, not in this world at least. But it's being as compassionate as possible. But then there's other aspects of the vegan of compassion that one can discuss with or of, like how the food is made, even vegan food, where was it made, etc. So there are still aspects that one discovers all the time, and one tries to reflect upon that and to work on that. But as it is, a vegan lifestyle is really is a big part of virtues, the virtuous aspect of things. Yeah, I hope it doesn't sound too arrogant or things like that. I don't want it to sound like that. I don't want to sound like vegans are perfect. No, but it is like a way of being, a path of kindness and compassion. And the vegan lifestyle is one of the best that I know. If you know any others, please tell me. But whatever other things we have, it should be with the vegan lifestyle at least. So for example, the giants are, have wonderful practices, ahimsa practices, that are even going further. Like they put masks so that they do not inhale insects, for example. They do not hurt insects. They do not eat root vegetables, because they don't want to hurt all the animals that one will be, the insects that one will hurt by doing that. And they also like kill the whatever one takes. So that's even going further. But still, one of the most important is vegan, especially for those who are vegetarians already. To stop the dairy products is extremely important. Dairy is a very big part of abuse towards animals. One could say even more than the meat industry, because the cows or other animals will anyway end up in the slaughterhouse mostly. And even those that don't, there's a lot of abuse in that industry, and it's so easy to change. So, yes, so I don't know how I got to discuss this topic a bit off topic. We talked about self-dialogue, and then there's the last part is friendship with mind, where we talk friendly with the mind in any subject that we want. So, enough talk. Let's actually do some practice. So let's do about 15 minutes of self-dialogue. So you choose what you want to talk with yourself. Anything that we discussed upon, or anything that you can think of that is positive talk with yourself, you choose. And just for 15 minutes, we do that. The idea is to do it before meditation in order to so that the meditation will be better. Meditation is supposed to be without thoughts or without following the thoughts, and in self-dialogue we do just the opposite. We do follow the thoughts because we want to have to let the steam out of the mind. That's the idea. So let's do that for about 15 minutes. Try to find a comfortable sitting position or on chair. Try to be as stable as possible. And comfortable as possible. Please do feel comfortable. And let's do it right now. So usually after such practice, what we do is we rub the hands, still the closed eyes normally, and then we put them on the eyes. When we open them, we open to the palms first, and then to the outside. That way, we slowly come back to the physical world. So this was a dialogue. Usually, it's a small percentage of the practice. In this, of course, here I explain it. So if you practice it from start to finish, of course, minus my talking, it will be much shorter. And now we pass to the actual meditation. But before doing that, maybe let's take 5 minutes break, and then come back to our final practice. Okay, so let's move to the final practice. So we're going to do, like in previous days, we are going to start with Kaya Steriam. Kaya means body, Steriam means stable, stability, immobility, not moving. So it's a practice where we try to not move at all, as much as possible, of course. Some things we cannot control, like the breath. We should not stop the breath. So the breath continues to go on. If we need to really move because we feel uncomfortable very strongly, then it's okay. Or if we feel pain, then of course we should move. But otherwise, we try to be really stable and not to fidget. Even if there is some place that scratch, we try to avoid scratching. Usually, it will pass by itself. If it really gets very strong, then okay, just scratch and goes back to meditation. And yeah, so how we do Kayashteriam, we just be stable, then we do some body scan. We imagine that we are something that is immovable, like a tree. Very often we use that as an image. We can use other images like being a statue or a mountain, like a powerful mountain, majestic mountain, or a tree that is a bit flexible. And then we do the actual like concentration, where we concentrate on the breath. We concentrate on the sensations of the breath on the entrance of the nostrils. And we just watch it. It means we don't inhale and exhale controllably. We just watch it from a distance. We let it be, basically. That can be very hard for us in the beginning, at least. We are used to, if we watch it, then we want to control it. But here we just want to watch it from a distance. As if you are outside of the body and you watch the breath. And in order to calm the mind, a good idea is to do like counting in the beginning. So like when you inhale, it's 1, exhale, then 2, when you next time, and so on for 5, and then go back to 1. Or you can think like you inhale, think in, then out when you exhale, like thinking, not saying out loud. And then also once we start like practicing and noticing the breath, thoughts will come, and that is very natural, and that is okay. We should not like suppress the thoughts. We should just let them be, but not follow them. Just like watching clouds is very often a metaphor that is used. Watching clouds in the distance, and then yeah, watching them. We cannot control the clouds. The clouds come and go. That's okay. It's nice, beautiful. Sometimes we have blue sky. Sometimes we have rain. Sometimes we have storm. But we don't need to follow all this. We just can look at it from a distance. So we just, whenever our thoughts start to wander, we just very gently, very mindfully, slowly bring it back to the center, to whatever we put our attention on. In this meditation, we put it on the sensation of the breath at the entrance of the nostrils. And yeah, another idea, if we want to like stop thinking, we have some thoughts and suddenly we don't know how to go back, just thinking. Like say in your mind, thinking. And then that is like a trigger to go back to the object of concentration. Yeah, that's a trick that is often used and it's quite effective. And yeah, and most importantly is not to beat ourselves badly. So I mean, if we, we try to do something positive with meditation. So even if we have thoughts, it's not a drama. It's okay. Then we cannot focus on the concentration. That is normal, especially in the beginning. So we should not. We should be compassionate and kind to ourselves. It's very important to also be compassionate to ourselves and kind. To be understanding with ourselves, not to blame ourselves or think negatively with ourselves of ourselves. Um, Whatever thoughts we have, it comes. I mean, it comes from habits and from whatever we do in daily life or from the past or we think of the future. But we gently, very gently, very kindly, we bring our focus, our mind to the breath. That is our object of concentration. Um, yes, and the meditation is just bringing back the mind ever and ever again to the center until it becomes like automatic and we do it very, very rapidly. But it takes time to really bring our focus to to the breath. In this case, I mean, breath is not the only object of concentration, but this is what we use for now. Um, and it's something that we have always with us. We can do it anytime, in the bus, or if we have 5 minutes in the morning, it's very good. So let's do that. And we're going to do it for for a relatively long time, for 25 minutes. If it's too much for you, you can just stop before. Um, but try for 25 minutes, just enjoy the process. I will give, I will make the sound at the end of the meditation. So first I will guide it, and then once we do the meditation on the sensation of the air, then it will be silent. So first find a comfortable position where you can stay for a long time, that you are stable, that you are comfortable. Try to breathe as much as possible from your nose, not from the mouth. The nose is for breathing, the mouth is for eating, unless the nose is blocked. Be very stable and bring all your awareness to your right leg. Relax your right leg. Relax your right foot, lower leg, upper leg, entire leg, right hip. Relax your left leg, left foot, lower leg, upper leg, left hip. Relax both legs together. Relax your back, lower back, middle back, upper back. Relax your belly, torso. Relax your right arm, right hand, fingers, fingertips. Relax your right lower arm, upper arm, shoulder. Relax your left arm, left upper arm, lower arm, left hand, left fingers, fingertips. Just relax. Relax your neck and throat, back of the head, top of the head. Relax your forehead, eyebrows, eyes, nose and nostrils. Relax your ears, upper lip, lower lip, your tongue. Relax your chin and jaw. Relax your face. Relax your entire head and torso. Relax your entire body. Imagine you're a tree. The roots flowing down to the center of the earth. Your back is like a trunk. Your arms are like branches. You're as stable as a tree. But flexible at the same time. And now we start the awareness of the breath meditation. So that concludes the session for today. Um, Today I talked a bit more than usual. Hope you do not mind. Um, there's always different things to explain and to go further in. But it's one thing to do the practice, it's another to understand how to do it right, why we do it. That's why it's a good to have some talk, not too much, some to introduce it. Then one can do it on one's own. So today the video to watch, as I mentioned earlier, it's Seaspiracy. It is available on Netflix. So I would highly encourage everyone to watch it because it's about the ocean's welfare, which maybe is not talked about enough. Most energy is spent on more about the land aspect, but the oceans, because I think most people believe that fishing is okay and perfectly normal, but no, it is not. It is not. And it is best to stay away from it. And one of the best ways just to stop consuming any oceans people. So easy. But it's hard to do because of social pressure, because of our habits. It's not always easy to do that. But if we really understand why we do it, and we can find alternatives that are more kinder and more compassionate, then why not? Yes, and the second thing is the challenge today is to learn to juggle. I would highly encourage everyone to give it a try. It's a kind of meditation. There's like a walking meditation, and this would be like juggling meditation because it's very meditative in practice because it's a self practice. It's like you do it on your own, basically. You don't. It's not like in a sports game where you play against somebody else or with somebody else. Here it's really all alone, usually, at least at the start. And it's a lot of fun. And I think you will enjoy it if you give it a try, if you never tried it out. Give it a try and see what you think. So thank you very much. And I hope to see you soon. And have a wonderful day. Bye.